Selamat pagi for Indonesian colleague. Namaskar. Chairperson of the session, Professor respected P.K. Misraji, galaxies of scholars who are present here. I have given very less time, that is 12 minutes. So I am going to cover, I have a very large slides, around 42, 43 slides, but I will briefly explain my paper. I am going to present Kalinga-Srivijaya relations with reference to maritime trade and commerce. Sir, you have said that we had no colonization. We didn't colonize Southeast Asia. Actually, what is that? Southeast Asia has been termed as Indianization, colonization, Greater India, Agni Asia, extended Gangetic civilization, etc., etc. So, our vibrant culture went there, not at one time. It was a regular process, and Professor Sades has very voluminously work, that is Indianized states of Southeast Asia, he has written, and he has first of all formulated the theory of Indianization. So our process is not very recent. It is, Judge Sades said that, okay, it was started in around beginning of the Christian, but it was processes, it was long back, like our Tripathi has said that we had very long relations with Southeast Asia. We can go to the Bronze Age culture. There was Bronze Age culture, and you see the artifacts of Dongshan culture. It is everywhere. Bronze drums are there. The kettle drums were used for invoking rains. It is not only in Indonesia, but it is whole of the Southeast Asia. It began in central part of Vietnam. From there, it is spread whole of Southeast Asia. A large number of drums are excavated from different parts from Indonesia and all the Malaysia and all the parts of Southeast Asia. So of course, we have plenty of references of the Mauryan and Gupta and other kingdoms. So our Kalinga relations with Southeast Asia, especially I am going to confine to Srivijaya Empire. So it was a long process. My present study discusses Kalinga and Srivijaya maritime relations in terms of trade and commerce. Kalinga and Srivijaya were the two mighty maritime kingdoms. They had expertise in trade and commerce. The kingdom of Kalinga was located at the eastern coast of India, while Srivijaya kingdom was situated at the Sumatran coast in Southeast Asia. There were close relations between the Kalinga and the Srivijaya so far the trade and commerce is concerned. Both the kingdoms had expertise in sea, faring, and trade and commerce connections. Such area has been least touched by their scholars. To delve into the relation between two kingdoms, I would like to discuss about the two historical kingdoms. Kingdom of Kalinga, I am not going to discuss the Kalinga because a lot of things are discussed about the Kalinga, so I'm not going to discuss all these things. Of course, it was Asoka who started the process of colonization, or Asoka was the first emperor who promulgated the concept of globalization. He started globalization through religion, not by the process of war or not the process of by the implements, with the help of implements and a war. So this is our characteristics. So in Southeast Asia, we have gone there in the soft, political and administrative. So in the 4th century AD, Kalinga constituted small principalities which were called as Utkala, Odri, Toshali, Kongda. I am not going to discuss all these things. Ptolemy has mentioned some of the ports of Kalinga. They were Plora, Nengina, Kiti, Kadam. Sorry, I'm not pronouncing properly. Kangara and Madaina. According to Ptolemy, from this port that the ships sailed for the Malay islands, Kangara, the Ptolemy, is no other place than the modern Konark. There were more outstanding ports of Kalinga. Kalingara was another important port. The Chinese pilgrim Huensang mentioned another port named Charitra. Tamritir was a well-known port. It had its geographical surroundings in the southern Bay of Bengal, east by the river of Rupnarayana, and west of Swarnarekha river. Geographical situation of Tamritir, Shuham and Suram, Let Varahi temple, Chaurasi, Radha and Bharukach or Bharoch and Ganga ride, etc. point to one of the compact region, and their ancient history is intimately connected with each other. Both Kalinga and Srivijaya were the Buddhist kingdom where Buddhism flourished, and this place was situated on the seaports. Both Srivijaya was at Palambang, and and Kalinga was on the bank of on the port of Srivijaya. So we have information of Issing, who remained in Tamrilipti for 5 months and learned their Sanskrit and Shabdavidya, or science of words. He mentioned for China both sea and land routes. Huensang, Chinese traveler in the 7th century, called the town Tanmoliti, or which can be translated as Tamrilipti. He stated that the port town was expanded approximately 250 miles. Kalinga was famous for various items for trade. They had some distinct stuff which was exclusive fervor in the then commercial world. Mineral, gemstones, farm and forest products, the Kalingan breeds of elephants, and goods crafts by artisans were the precious commodities for trade. The Buddhist Jataka mentions Kalinga as the great commercial and industrial country which exported ivory, diamonds, fine cloths, rice and other goods to foreign countries. Coming to Srivijaya, during the end of 7th century, Srivijaya emerged as an important kingdom in Southeast Asia, having center at Palembang on the coastal region of Sumatra and Indonesia. It was Hindu Buddhist kingdom who controlled the whole Pacific trade. The Chinese pilgrim Issing translated Srivijaya as Foshi. He stayed there for 6 months to study Sanskrit grammar. Issing writes, for if a Chinese priest wishes to go to West India to understand and read the Buddhist text, it should be wise for him to spend a year or two in Foshi and practice the proper rules there. There they followed the same rules and ceremonies exactly as in India. Foshi is a fortified city where 1,000 of Buddhist priests' minds bent to study and good works. They examined and studied the possible subjects exactly as in Madhya Desha, India. Their rules and ceremonies are identical with those in India. From the statement of Ising, it appears that Foshi, Srivijayan, was primarily a Buddhist kingdom which had close relation with the coastal part of India, Kalinga. It was center of learning and people had deep knowledge of Sanskrit language. It was center of Buddhist learning where the true Mul Sravastivada, one of the great sects of Theravada Buddhism that used Sanskrit language was prevailing. A number of epigraphic records bear the information on Srivijaya. Kota Kapur inscription on the island of Banka mentions the existence in 383 to 86 in Palembang, a Buddhist kingdom that had just conquered the hinterland of Jambi and the islands of Banka and was prepared to launch a military expeditions against Java. The Kedukan Bukit inscriptions found at the foot of the hill of the Seguntang in Palembang tells us about that on April 23, 682, a king began an expedition, Siddhayatra, by boat, that on May 19, he left a statuary with an army moving simultaneously by land and sea, and that a month later he brought victory, power, and wealth to Srivijaya. The text has caused much ink to flow. Some scholars have chosen to view this inscription as a statement. The capital Srivijaya was founded by an armada from outside, perhaps from Malay Peninsula, and some have even interpreted the inscriptions as meaning that the primitive sites of Malu was Palembang, which took the name Srivijaya from following this expedition. Sades opines that Srivijaya had territory expanded to the northwest towards the state of Malacca and southwest towards the Sunda state. Because of a static location, Srivijaya controlled trade the two great passes between the Indian Ocean and the Chinese Sea, the possession of which was to assure Srivijaya of commercial hegemony in Indonesia and for several centuries. Goods for trading. Trading was the main source of the kingdom. Source of income of the kingdom. The people of the empire had trade relations with India, particularly with the kingdom of Kalinga. Some of the trading goods that include ivory, tin, nutmeg, sandalwood, and a strong smelling camphor and alloy that were used for medicinal purpose. The empire had access to the trade network of spices from India and goods like silk and porcelain from China. The empire had large quantity of resources of gold. Thus the empire was famous earning gold, and in ancient time the whole area was called Swarnbhumi. They means island of gold. The kingdom also played significant role acting as mediator between China and other small states on the Malay archipelago. Moreover, Kalinga was major part of trade and exchange of goods. Major source of income. The kingdom had highly access to the spices and medicinal goods, which provided attraction to the traders. The taxes levies on passing ships also provided major sources of income, which helped the kingdom to form the embryonic bureaucracy. This helped the kingdom to create military and naval forces that brought security in the area. The naval forces provided security from the periods. Close relations with Indian coastal powers. Srivijaya had regular contact with Kalinga, which provided great security and protection to the kingdom from Chinese operation. They employed merchants as advisors, clerks, and other officials, assigning them Sanskrit titles. Buddhism played significant role in the upliftment of moral values and religious practices. Now I am coming to the, this is already been covered by the scholars. There were 3 routes undertaken by the Kalinga people to Southeast Asia. That was one sea route, and another was land route, and third one was partly sea and partly land route. So this is the whole, it has already been discussed by the earlier speakers. This is also port of embarkation for traders. This is the Kalinga ship. Actually, technique was very much advanced during that time. So boats were made very technically and well technically advanced. That is we have seen on the reliefs of Borobudur. That is the ship that was known at the time Kalinga. Now I am coming to some of the images. Bodhisattva that is found from different. Just 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes. So there are so many Buddha images that were discovered. So it is Padmpani Bodhisattva. The style is very similar to Indo-Japanese bronze with Pala influence. This image is of 9th to 10th century. Bhairav Buddha, there was this is a very, very unique image. That is the amalgamation of both Hinduism and Buddhism. So they developed a Shiv Buddha cult. So this is the image revealing the Shiv Buddha cult, that is Bhairav Buddha. That is of 14th century. This is Agni image. So all the Hindu kingdoms were worshipped there in Srivijaya kingdom and other kingdoms of Southeast Asia. So this is Parvati image, 14th century. This is the Harihara images. This is from Chandisham, Shimping, Sumbari Jati, Blitar, East Java. This is Agastya. This is Vajrapani. This is Nandi. You find this is Nandi in human form. This is Mukhlinga. This is Shiva Mahadeva. This is Surya. This is Mother Goddess Chamundi. This is Buddhist Tantric goddess Hariti. This is Prambanan temple complex, Central Java, 9th century AD, built during Sailendra rule. The temple complex has 3 main temples, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. So this is Baisakhi temple we have already discussed at length. So thank you very much.